Welcome to Holme Horror. I've been waiting for you. The dentist, Dr. Walter Grayson, was a fixture of the small, picturesque town of Clearwick. His dental practice sat neatly on the corner of Main Street, its white shutters and polished sign a symbol of trust and modernity. For 20 years, Grayson had been the go-to dentist for families in the area, known for his impeccable skills, soothing demeanor, and dazzling smile. Patients often remarked how comforting his voice was, how steady his hands were. But behind his professional facade was a man consumed by a sinister obsession. It began with Sarah Caldwell, a librarian in her late 20s. Sarah had an appointment with Dr. Grayson one Friday afternoon. Her co-workers saw her leave work, cheerful as always, but she never returned. When Sarah didn't show up for work on Monday, her friends and family grew concerned. Her car was parked in her driveway, her phone left charging on her nightstand. There were no signs of struggle in her home. The police questioned everyone who'd seen her that day, including Dr. Grayson. Yes, she came in for her routine cleaning, he told them, his voice steady, his smile soft. She seemed perfectly fine. We chatted about her plans for the weekend, and she left around 4:30. The police searched the practice, but found nothing unusual. Grayson's office was immaculate, from the waiting room's pristine magazines to the sparkling dental tools laid out in perfect rows. With no evidence to implicate him, the case went cold. But Sarah Caldwell hadn't left that office. Not alive, anyway. Beneath the polished floors of Dr. Grayson's practice lay a secret. The basement, officially designated for storage, was his private workshop, a place where his fascination with teeth extended beyond the realm of dentistry. Sarah had been the first in years to see this hidden space, albeit unconscious. Grayson worked methodically. Sedation was his weapon of choice, ensuring his victims never felt pain. He'd perfected the dosage over time, enough to keep them paralyzed but alive. Sarah's teeth gleamed under the harsh basement light as he carefully extracted each one, placing them in a stainless steel tray. His movements were precise, surgical, almost reverent. To Grayson, each tooth was a treasure, a testament to his skill. When he finished, he studied her unconscious body with a clinical detachment. Disposing of her was just another step in his routine. The incinerator in the corner of the basement, disguised as a sterilization unit, reduced her remains to ash, leaving no trace of her existence. He labeled the jar of teeth with her name and date, placing it among the others in his collection. Clearwick's second disappearance came just 3 weeks later. Marcus Young, a college student visiting home for the summer, had gone to Grayson's office for a wisdom tooth extraction. His mother waited in the parking lot, scrolling through her phone, unaware that Marcus would never return. "He must have walked out while I was looking at my phone," she told police, tears streaming down her face. "I thought he'd call me when he was ready to be picked up. I don't understand how this could happen." The police interviewed Grayson again, their suspicion growing. His calm demeanor never wavered. "I can't imagine what happened," he said, his brow furrowed with concern. "He was in perfect health when he left my office. I hope you find him." The officers left, but not without noting the faint smell of chemicals lingering in the air. Katie Myers was an investigative journalist with a reputation for digging up the truth. She'd followed the disappearances in Clearwick with growing unease. The pattern was clear to her. All the missing individuals had last been seen at Dr. Grayson's office, yet the police seemed hesitant to act without concrete evidence. Determined to uncover the truth, Katie booked an appointment under a fake name. She arrived at the practice early one morning, her heart pounding as she walked through the door. Grayson greeted her warmly, his smile as disarming as ever. "Welcome. First time here?" he asked, extending a hand. "Yes," Katie replied, forcing a nervous smile. "I've heard great things about your practice." Grayson's eyes lingered on her teeth for a moment too long before he led her to the chair. As he worked, Katie took mental notes. The office was impeccably clean, yet something about it felt sterile in a way that went beyond hygiene. She noticed the locked door near the back of the room. its keypad access pad blinking softly. "What's behind that door?" she asked, feigning casual curiosity. Grayson paused, his hand hovering over her mouth with a dental tool. "Storage," he said, his tone clipped. "Just supplies and equipment." Katie nodded, but her instincts screamed otherwise. That night, Katie returned to the practice, breaking in through a side window. Armed with a flashlight and a camera, she made her way to the locked door. Picking the lock took longer than she anticipated, but the soft click of the mechanism releasing sent a surge of adrenaline through her veins. The basement was colder than she expected, the air heavy with the scent of antiseptic and something metallic. Her flashlight beam illuminated rows of shelves lined with jars. Each contained human teeth. Suspended in a clear liquid, names and dates were meticulously written on the labels. Her stomach churned as she moved closer, her camera capturing every horrifying detail. At the center of the room was a steel table, stained with what she could only assume was blood. A nearby furnace, disguised as a piece of sterilization equipment, gave off a faint hum. Katie's breath hitched as she realized the scope of Grayson's crimes. She turned to leave but froze when she heard footsteps on the stairs. "I had a feeling about you," Grayson said, his voice echoing in the dim space. He stood at the bottom of the stairs, his expression unreadable. "You're not from around here, are you?" Katie's mind raced. "The police will know I'm here," she bluffed. "They'll come looking for me." Grayson chuckled softly. "You think you're the first? Do you know how many have tried to stop me? Yet here I am." Katie backed away, her flashlight shaking. "You're insane." Grayson tilted his head, his smile returning. "Insane?" "No. Dedicated." She bolted toward the stairs, but Grayson was faster. He grabbed her arm, pulling her back. They struggled, her flashlight clattering to the floor. Katie managed to free herself, grabbing a heavy instrument from the table and striking him across the face. He fell, dazed, and she ran. Katie didn't stop running until she reached the police station. Bursting through the doors, she frantically explained everything she'd seen. The photos on her camera were undeniable proof. Within hours, authorities swarmed Grayson's practice, uncovering the horrors of his basement. But Grayson was gone. The town was left reeling as the truth came to light. Jars of teeth, labeled with names of the missing, were cataloged as evidence. Families mourned, struggling to comprehend the grotesque fate of their loved ones. Katie's exposé made national headlines, her bravery praised by all, but she couldn't shake the feeling that her ordeal wasn't over. Months later, Katie tried to move on. One night, as she prepared for bed, she found a small envelope on her pillow. Inside was a single tooth, polished to perfection. Her blood ran cold. The faint smell of antiseptic filled the air. A floorboard creaked behind her. Katie's scream pierced the night, but when neighbors arrived, her apartment was empty. The only sign of her was a jar left on her nightstand, containing a single tooth with her name on the label. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more chilling stories. And remember, be careful. I'll be watching you.